Okay, today we're going to go over some very basic things regarding Adobe Premiere. Um, Adobe Premiere is going to be the program that we use to edit our videos. So I just want to make you guys familiar with the workspace, how to use it, how to navigate, and how to basically in the beginning import footage and get started on cutting footage in Adobe Premiere. So the first thing you need to do is obviously find some footage. Now what I've done is I've imported some footage that I've used last year and the year before um, on a video that I made for my wife's grandma's 90th birthday. So let's find that video. We're going to go to Finder and we're going to connect to the Media Share Drive. Okay, go and then connect to server, and then this address should be here, and connect. Once you're connected, you're going to go to Media Arts, Carrera, and then you're going to click on Resources. All stock footage, audio, pictures, titles, things of that nature, I'm going to be placing in the Resources folder. So you're going to grab the Nani 90 final graded, and you're going to click and drag that onto your desktop. Okay. Now this doesn't remove the footage from the MediaArt share drive. You're just able to grab footage and put it onto your desktop, which is really convenient. Okay, so that takes a couple minutes. I'm gonna give that a couple seconds. Now, I have Adobe Premiere down here in my launch dock, whatever this is called. You may have to find it up here. So what you want to do is click on the magnifying glass and type in Adobe Premiere, okay? And you should start getting a bunch of different versions here. You should have one version. I have a bunch of different ones because I have Adobe Cloud. So click on Adobe Premiere. I'm just going to click on it from down here and just give it a couple seconds. It might take, up to a minute to load because it's pulling the program off the MediaArt share drive. So don't get impatient. Just give it a second and you'll see that it's loading all of the different plugins and effects and things like that. It's a big program, so it might take a couple minutes to actually load everything up. Okay, now once it's loaded, you'll see a window which indicates whether or not you want to start a new project or if you want to open an existing project. And any projects that you were using in the past would be listed right here. Okay, so since you don't have any projects, we're going to click on New Project. Okay, now this is a really important point. Where am I going to save my project? The best thing to do is to save it on your desktop. And I've mentioned before, you should create a folder for each project that you're doing. So what you want to do is you want to find, this is the location right here. Okay, you see it says location. So I'm going to browse and make sure that it's pointing to the desktop. So I'm going to click on browse. You see here that it says desktop. Okay, now I already have a folder that's created called video production. Okay, but let's say I create a folder on my desktop, and that's going to be called Nani Video Recut, and you could name it the same thing. And there it is. Okay, I'm going to click on choose, and you'll see the location here. All right. Now, next thing is I'm going to save or name the project. So I'm going to go Carrera Steve Nani Practice. Okay. And that's what this project or this in-class exercise will be called. Carrera Steve Nani Practice. All right. I'm going to click on OK. And then my window pops up. All right, so now you have your preview window over here on the left side. You have your footage window over here on the bottom left-hand corner. You should have your timeline window in the bottom right, should be pretty long. And then you have your timeline preview in the upper right-hand corner. If this is not what your Adobe Premiere looks like, you need to click on Window, Workspace, and then you need to select Editing. So as you get more familiar with this, you might be needing the effects layout. that changes everything. That changes the way your Adobe Premiere looks. For right now, we're going to need workspace editing, and then that should pop up. Okay, so let's make sure that we all of our stuff looks similar. Okay, so now I need to import the footage into Adobe Premiere. All right, now it's critical that you save your work. Constantly save your work. If you don't and your computer crashes, you'll lose everything. You'll lose all the work that you've done up to that point. So trust me, it's happened to me. It happens all the time. So save your work. Okay, so I need to import the Nani footage. So I can go to File, Import, and then I can go to my desktop, find that folder that I saved it on. Okay. And now my footage is in a different spot, but if you created that Nani video recut, it might be there. Okay, mine is it's directly on my desktop. Okay, so it's Nani 90, and then I'm just going to click import. Okay, so here's the footage. Now, if I double click that, the footage will be in my preview window. All right, and I can actually watch it here in my preview window to see what it looks like. Okay, so let's push play. Okay, so that is the footage. Now, you notice here, there is an asterisk. That means that the project has not been saved after I've made a change. So click on Command S at the same time to save your project. You could also go to File, Save. Trust me, Command S, it's a lot easier, it's a lot faster. Once you do that, the asterisk goes away. Okay? So now, this would be this on this side right here, and this right here, the footage window and the preview window, that's representative of your stock footage, the footage that you used or that you shot for your film. So most of it is not cut. There may not be any music on it. There may not be, you have to put it together. So you put footage together on this right side, okay, the timeline. Now, right now, currently, there is no timeline. You have to create one. So the complicated way to do that is to go to File, New, Sequence. Now, this window pops up, and it gives you a ton of different options based off of how you shot your footage. So if you used, for example, a mobile device, it might tell you, oh, you used an iPod. Okay, you might want to use this for your timeline. This can get very complicated. So I like to not use that. And what I'm going to do is down here, if you notice, there's a box with a fold in it, new item. Okay, I can click on my footage and drag it onto the new item, and it automatically creates a timeline that matches my raw footage. Okay, let me say that again. It automatically creates a timeline that matches my raw footage. So if I shot my footage in 1080p, your timeline will be 1080p and it will be consistent with your footage. That's extremely important because you don't want to shoot HD video and then cut it or edit it as standard definition. That wouldn't make any sense, okay? So now that I have my footage in my timeline, you can see the music is right here, this bottom track. You can actually see the music. And if I click and drag this, it makes it bigger, okay? Zooms it in, all right? This up top is my video. They're connected. I can't move one without the other, okay? And I'll show you how to change that in a second, all right? Now, once I click on my, I guess what I'll call my cursor here, the footage that's represented in this timeline, okay, is right here. This is where you're previewing it, all right? So why don't we take a couple minutes. Let's make sure that we're all on the same page. Notice the asterisk here, so I'm going to push Command S to save it, okay? Let's make sure that we're in this position right here, and then let's click on the next video.